Chapter 22. Sleep Paralysis. It was but imagination. Yet imagination had all the terrors of reality. Nay, it was worse, for the reality would have come and gone, and there an end. But in imagination it was always coming, and never went away. Charles Dickens. Please, Mama, can I come with? We'll be back. But Nancy Freund lied, and Claire never saw her again except in dreams, dreams that she could never force. They would come to her, and she would wake up in tears trying to remember that face, but it wouldn't return in waking hours. Where had they gone, and why had they gone? She hadn't dreamt of her mother in a long time. She'd been with aches since adolescence, and for weeks after they took her to that island and did the things they did. Her only dream was that flower print dress disappearing into light and being replaced with the man who had the big chin and the dark eyes. He was a tall man, at least 6 feet. He had gone gray, and there was always a woman with him, a woman with dark pixie hair who was twice as evil but somehow less feared. Unless, of course, you were like Claire Freund and you came to see through the veil. The new nightmares invaded her mind for many years after that, and sometimes she forgot which were in her imagination and which were her waking life. Eventually, like breaking the surface of a body of water, Claire came through and lost all sense of self. She did what she was supposed to do. She always did what she was supposed to do, and she did well. Somehow they taught her to believe if she just did these things, there would come a time when maybe she could live on her own and find the family that had been gone so long. So it was that she found herself walking endlessly in the twilight, following that flower print dress like when she was little and Mom was at the mall. Long blonde hair, platinum blonde, just like the sort to spark endless jealousy among rivals. Claire smiled and her hand went up to her own blonde hair, but when she looked at it, it was red, a stupid red, a neon red, something out of a cartoon. In her dreaming mind, she sought a mirror, and so one appeared within moments. She was not a little girl, she was a fully grown woman, and someone had dyed her hair the color of Ronald McDonald's, and it looked hideously stupid. Claire screamed at the mirror, and her hands went to her head, trying to rip the red out. She pulled and pulled, and her hands came away with blood. It was thick blood, coagulating all about her. Now it wasn't just in her hair, but submerging her entire body. She was inside the blood. She was the blood. That's when she remembered her name wasn't Claire. Her name had not been Claire for many years. Her name was what they told her it would be, nothing more, nothing less. Now it was Chloe. Yes, that's right. Her name was Chloe. And she had an objective with a stupid Generation Z kid. What was his name? She could recall his stupid face. She could hear his stupid slang. She could see his stupid jacket. He was a rube. But then his eyes came into focus. Dark brown eyes, simple eyes, innocent eyes. He wasn't dumb, but he didn't know enough to realize how twisted the world really was. He should have known from the dossier she read. He'd lived in California, after all. Somehow he did not. He was not bad, she knew that. Then his face changed, and it became Farley. Square-jawed Farley. He was someone to look up to now. He knew how to do things. He knew how the world worked. Men followed him. He commanded respect. Respect of persons. Respect of more than persons. Persons who were more than humans. Humans who were less than legitimate. Legitimacy that was determined by resources. Resources that were rooted in creatures who were alive. Living creatures who became part of the grand charade, the endless dance. A dance of stars, of governments, of planets, of moons, of nebula, of galaxies, of lineages, of gold, of eyes, great deep blue eyes, great deep brown eyes, great deep dark eyes, darkness, darkness, deep darkness. And now she was with her sisters, the life-bringers of the world, so many of them, dozens, hundreds, all around her, pirouetting and spinning and dancing, turning somersaults, becoming things they were not, returning to what they were, shrieking with laughter that was contagious, synthetic, authentic, and strange. Chloe danced with them. The crowd of madness became wider and larger, and the road they were on was undulating, undulating, forever undulating. There in the center of it, watching with cobalt eyes, was the tall man with the strong chin. And he held out his hand. Behind him she saw the boy with the frosted hair and the naive look in his eyes. He had his hands in his pockets and watched her sadly. not dancing at all. For some reason, Chloe, who was Claire, felt a deep melancholy. But when she turned to the tall man, she remembered her mother and was scared that she would be left alone again. Between the two, she could not move.